Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny. We're gardening here in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Today's project is to do some emergency treatments for my failing Emerald Green Arborvitaes. They are suffering and I need to do some work on them. Come with me and let's see what to do about it. You may have seen a previous video where I showed this Emerald Green Arborvitae with tons and tons of brown leaves and brown and dead foliage. And the problem is that it suffered from a lack of water over the hot course of our summer and a couple of periods where I did not do a great job of watering through my drip irrigation system. So what am I going to do with an arborvitae that is so badly damaged? I asked my viewers to tell me what you would do, and also I did some research online, and I found out a few things. First of all, arborvitaes do not recover from dried limbs. If their limbs dry out, that's the end of that limb. There's no regrowing from it. Further down on the limb, closer to the trunk, it might still have some life left in it. You might still see green leaves down. If the tip is brown and down further is green, then you cut it off where it starts to turn from brown to green. So that's the first thing. And the other thing is arborvitaes don't regrow from old wood. So you can't rejuvenate prune an arborvitae. It's not like I could cut this off halfway down and then expect it to send out new shoots to become a bigger, fuller shrub like you could do, say, with a holly or an azalea or many other types of shrubs. So arborvitaes don't respond well to that kind of treatment. But what you can do is cut out the old wood. That's what I've done here. You can see these are just some of the limbs that I cut out. Look how, that's just dead, just plain old dead. And this one was dying, and this one was dead and dying. So you may be able to see in here, I've got space right here where these used to be, and I had to take them out. Here's a look at the back of the shrub, and you can see that it's got quite a bit of loss. I had to take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these really strong vertical stems. And it looks like I still might need to cut down a little bit more to get some of this out. I don't think that this is very healthy either, but I'm leaving my trimming at this stage for the most part. I might be able to get out some more things like that. So I took out most of the dead and damaged, and I do see here I still have some damage happening. I'm just hopeful that I won't lose this entire limb. Now, if there's any good news about this arborvitae at all, it's that while arborvitae won't regrow from those cuts that I made, it will, if it has healthy branches like this one, it will continue to grow. And if the base is healthy and the general rootstock down near the bottom is healthy, it will send up new branches as well. So it just won't regrow from the old. So my strategy with all of these arborvitaes, but especially this one, which took so much drought damage, my goal is to, 1, make sure they have healthy soil. So I'm going to be adding some bagged compost and composted manure to the base of each of these trees. I purchased this from Lowe's. It's compost and composted manure, and it is not too hot. It is composted, so I don't have to worry about the manure burning anything in the soil. My second piece of my strategy is that I'm going to be upgrading the drip irrigation that I have at the base of the tree. Currently, I have 1/4-inch drip tubing that has 5 half-gallon per hour emitters on it, and it's a ring around the base of each tree. Now what happened, and the reason these got dried out, is because I didn't run the drip irrigation often enough over the heat of our summer. And unfortunately, the drought damage doesn't show up until it's like too late. So I should have done a better job of being very regular, especially during the hot season that we had in August. But I didn't, so here we are. I'm trying to make up for it. But I'm going to be upgrading the drip irrigation so that instead of just 5 emitters, it has 8 emitters. And so that will be 8 half-gallon emitters is 4 gallons per hour of water that will be going to these every time I water. All right, so the first job is to spread this compost around the base of each tree. Okay, so I put 2 bags of compost and composted manure around the tree. I left the center of the trunk area free of the compost. I don't want to put anything up against the trunk because you don't want to bury the trunk. You don't want to have the soil level be higher than the soil level when you bought the tree and planted it in the first place. But so what I did was I created a ring around the tree, a little bit of an indentation here. Rainwater will capture in here instead of just running off. Also, the drip irrigation water will be inside this ring and less likely to roll off downhill away from the tree. Okay, so that's job 1. Oh, I should mention, I used this as an opportunity to get the creeping vinca out of the tree because we were starting to get vinca crawling up the tree. And also, I don't care about the fact that I've covered up vinca and ivy, anything that was here. It'll either come through the compost and look nice as a ground cover later, or it won't, and I don't care. I'll be putting mulch in this bed next spring. For now, the compost will do a nice job of adding nutrients and also soil biology to this area so that our soil health continues to improve and improve. All right, so the next step is to upgrade the drip irrigation to add 3 more emitters to the line. All right, so I have cut off a piece of drip emitter tubing that has 1, 2, 3 half-gallon per hour emitters. These are 12 inches apart. And the current loop that's on the tree has 5. I'm also using one of these straight-edged, straight connectors. Don't want to lose that, so I'm going to put it there. All right, so this tube currently has 5 emitters on it, and it's connected to the main line with a T connector. I'm going to simply cut in between 2 of these emitters. There's one here and one here, so I'm going to cut right here. You know what? I need another straight emitter, don't I? And then I'm going to insert, I'm going to use this straight emitter to connect this end. This is so much easier when they're warm from sitting in the sun. There we go. Now I'm going to put the new line. This has 3 emitters. This has 5 onto here. All right. So now I have a line that's connected to the main line with a T connector. And then I have one side that's got 3 or maybe 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 emitters on this side and 4 emitters on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm going to wrap this around the tree twice to make the diameter of the circle smaller. See how I did that? In fact, I might wrap it 3 times. Yeah, I am going to wrap it 3 times. And I'm going to get another straight connector so that I can connect these 2 ends to each other. And then I'll have a triple loop that goes around I'm going to do this around the tree, obviously. But it'll be a triple loop that has 8 connectors on it. Now, the connectors are kind of randomly spaced apart from each other around this loop. And that'll be around the base of the tree. So I need to grab another straight connector. Okay, I got my second straight connector here. Now let me do the wrapping. So you may not be able to see it very well, but I do have it wrapped around here 3 times. And my end points are right here. And now I need to connect them this way. Alright, so I have a triple loop that has 8 connectors on it, wrapped around the tree, being fed from the main line. I like the way that it is smaller diameter loops so that it'll stay within the root zone of the tree. Now I'm going to go turn on the drip irrigation and verify that this tubing is working before I go any further. Alright, I've turned on the system and now I'm checking. Are we dripping? are in fact dripping. Excellent, so now I can bury this line. Going to gently, lightly cover the line with some soil, taking care not to get the soil right up against the trunk of the tree. Okay, so I have fixed this tree the best that I know how from the point of view of keeping it well moistened, keeping it well nourished, and trying to take better care of it over the coming life cycle of this tree. Now, there's one more thing that's aesthetic that I want to try to do, and that is I want to try to limit how much this gap here shows up from the vantage point of our lawn. We have quite a gap here where I had to take out all those limbs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use some of this Velcro tape. This is the stuff you can buy at the home center or online. It's Velcro and it sticks to itself. And I'm going to try to use this to hold this limb a little bit closer to the other limbs, just so that this gap is reduced a little bit. I'm going to do it about down here somewhere. I'm going to do it as loosely as I can, but also kind of firmly. I'm going to have to strike a balance there. I don't want this tape to damage the limbs at all or to impede the progress of growth, but I do want it to hold this limb kind of a little bit tighter in. So let me see what I can do with that. To hold that up like that. Does that look better from that side? Well, I guess it's a little bit better, but it's still pretty sparse right here. It's just the way it is. The tree took damage from me not taking care of its watering needs. So I'm just going to have to hope that this section and this section will grow a little bit flusher and fuller and fill in this gap right here. It's the best I can do. Well, that's the best I know how to do for this tree. I'm just going to try to keep it watered and see if I can save this tree without having to replace it. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing to these two trees. Spread the compost, upgrade the drip irrigation system, and hopefully they will live a long and happy life as well. all done. The job was, not terribly complicated or difficult. It's just a little bit of work. And I've got 3 trees surrounded with compost added to their drip irrigation system, and hopefully from now on we won't have any trouble with these trees drying out. As I was working with them, this one over here that took so much damage, it was losing needles the whole time I was working with it. The things are just falling off of the tree. So I'm just really crossing my fingers, hoping I can save enough of it that I don't have to replace it over time. I think these 2 are going to be fine as long as I keep everything watered. So I hope I've dodged a bullet with these 2. We'll see about the 3rd one. Thank you to all of you who have given me tips and suggestions on how to deal with this problem. And thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. And if you have more information to share about caring for Emerald Green Arborvitae, or really any type of arborvitae, please share your insights with us in the comment section down below. We've been learning from each other and sharing tips and ideas all summer long, and I really appreciate that. Have a wonderful day in your gardens, and I hope that we'll see you again in another video really soon. Bye-bye, friends.